We're Wednesday night Warhammer. We're Thursday night Warhammer. Look at this. Yeah, this clear expansion, clear progress. It's incredible. This is our bonus Army List review show because Monday, you guys came out. A bunch of super chats. It was amazing. Thank you so much for the support. So I'm doing another stream just for you guys. Every night Warhammer. Hey, Jack Reacher, you might be onto something with that. I like that. Every night Warhammer. Who knows? My wife would be like, please no, not every night Warhammer. She'd be like, please. Anyways, welcome. This is a bonus Army List review show where I get to review your list. There's actually some spice. There's some spice today as I was inputting stuff. So I'm excited to get this going. I hope everybody's having a great week. Hello, what's up? Welcome everybody in the chat. I hope you enjoyed the stream last night. There was lots of beans. It's gross. It's terrible. But check out that stream if you're interested in watching some Orcs on Bugs action. It was a tough game for the bugs. I think I'm actually doing some tweaks with my list for this tournament this Sunday. Get more stuff. Just a little coriander. I feel like Dracoria, it's great to see you, but I'm not understanding what just a little coriander. I am a bit early today. Yeah. I got home a little bit earlier and I figured let's fire this baby up, you know? Speaking of firing this baby up, first list. Ozolith. Oh, it is a spice. You're right. I knew that, but I was like, man, I guess the delay is too much because my tangent had already snaked its way to some other nonsense. Yay, buggy boys, indeed. We got Ozolith up here. He's here. Ozolith is probably one of our most consistent Army List submitters, which is very cool because I do like his ideas. It's awesome. He says, hello again, Jordan. I've been wanting to make an Assimilation Swarm and had two lists. First one is offensive and the second is defensive. Want to know what you thought of these. First list is a Hive Tyrant. Cool, with Instinctive Defense. So now we're going to be looking if he has the 6-man Tyrant Guard brick. Narrow Time with Biophagic Flow. I think this unit is pretty much, it's close to like an auto tank as you have in Assimilation Swarm. Biovore, a 3-man Pyrovore, triple Ripper Swarms, double Harspecs, double Maliceptor, double Norn Assimilator, double Psychophage. Okay. This is pretty. This list has got some beef in it for sure. And we are right at 2,000 points, I'm assuming. Ozolith, let me know if either of these are below 2,000 points at all. Okay, and then this one, Hive Tyrant, Narrow Tyrant, Biovore, Lictor, 6 Pyrovores, 3 Raveners. Oh, something to note, the first list does not have 6-man Tyrant Guard. This one does. Double Ripper Swarm, Harspecs, Norn Assimilator, Psychophage. Everybody stop the presses. Everybody stop what you're doing. The snail is here. Awesome. Welcome to the snail. I finally realized I never linked my YouTube to Discord. So I did get that fixed. Okay, cool. Nice. All right, so I guess the main difference is this list has Tyrant Guard and it has 2 Lictors, no Gargoyles. Very interesting. The snail. Yeah, the snail. He's here. He's not a bug, though. We decided that previously. Oh, and this one has 6 Pyrovores. The buggiest of all bug boys. I would agree. And Ozolith are both of these directly at 2,000 points? I would think so. Oh, this one doesn't have Psychophagic Flow on the Neuro Tyrant. The snail. What base sizes are Rippers? I believe they're 40 millimeters. This size right here. Yes, I have. This base is from Bennis, actually. I'll double check. Okay. So things that, like, it's weird because I almost feel like we're going to, like, combine both lists almost. This first list, I really like the Biophagic Flow on the Neuro Tyrant. I really like the inclusion of Gargoyles. I do think, like, some kind of screening is necessary. I don't like triple Ripper Swarm. I just think maybe one. Oh, and you didn't know? Yeah. What's up, Soul of the Dark Sun? So, but I do like this core of beef. Like all of this, double Haruspex, double Maliceptor, double Norn Assimilator, double Psychophage is pretty dope. That's awesome. Like if you just run that up the table, what if you put all of that out front? There's no way they're killing all of it. You're gonna get some value from Assimilation Swarm, of course. An 80 millimeter based Ripper. Oh my gosh. Hmm. So what I'm actually leaning towards is I think I like this list more. I think we're still going to make a couple adjustments, but this list is really not far off. I'll be honest with you. And we also want to take a look at how many different harvester units we have. So this one has 3 harvester unit. No, there's way more than that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, not those. 7, 8, 9, 10. In my opinion, I don't think we need the Ripper Swarms at all. And there's a pretty good reason why I don't think we need the Ripper Swarms. I think we either need more screening or we need a lone op of some kind. I actually really highly value lone op units or honestly infiltrating units. You know what actually might be pretty good in this is if we take the Rippers out and we do like Von Ryans just to screen out the infiltration. Could be good. I don't think they're as good as a Lictor, but the Von Ryans are going to do 2 things. They're going to screen out your opponent's infiltrating, and then they can also screen out like people trying to melee you. So they would be the sacrifice for their one stratagem. Yeah, I do see that Ozolith. I still think I think it's +1 to wound, and I do think like running out the Ripper is actually kind of harder than it could appear because you're either starting it on the battlefield, right? And then it runs out. And then your opponent can basically activate anything in their army into the Ripper. So like you could get +1 to wound against scouts or something, like if they activate scouts into it, or you can get +1 to wound against an orc truck or something like that. Really what you want to end up doing is charging the Ripper into the unit that you want to be +1 to wound against. I mean, and that's kind of cool. You can kind of do that. But still getting that Ripper in position without it getting killed first by a different unit, I think is actually kind of difficult. In addition, I also like +1 to wound is great, but Assimilation Swarm has access to lethal 5s, right? Which is really good. What's up, Sergeant Ollie? Good to see you. So like if you're thinking like +1 to wound or crits on 5s, lethals, I think I'd like to see where the math is on that, but I think lethals probably outdo it. And like with their Haruspex, with the number of attacks the Haruspex has, that's really good. Norn Assimilator is okay as well. I think this is fine too. And you're double melee. All right, so this list, I would recommend cutting the Rippers and doing some kind of screening unit. You can do Hormagaunts, could be cool. You can do Raveners would be good as well. You can do Von Ryan's Leapers. Now, if we're looking over here, it looks like we cut the Gargoyles. We have 6 Pyrovores. We have 3 Raveners, like I was mentioned before. Tyrant Guard, Ripper, Haruspex, Norn Assimilator, Norn Assimilator, Psychophage. Oh, no, I turned the Norn into Noon. I can change it up on this. Yeah. Okay. So I'm leaning VRLs, I guess. 70 points. You have 5 points left over. And then this one, I'm going to be honest, another train of thought that the Noon Assimilators. It's hard Noon. Another thought that I had was, do we really need like the 6-man Tyrant Guard brick if we have Haruspex and the Noon Assimilators and the Psychophages? Do we really need like 6 Tyrant Guard as well? And I'm like, for this list, I think I kind of like this list better. There's a couple things we want to be able to do though. However, we need Battle Line first for sure. So I think we cut Tyrant Guard and a Ripper Swarm. That's going to be 185. Oh, this is perfect. I think we do this. So 185. And then we put 2 Gargs. Sorry, I'm Jordan. Would it be a stream with me if I was not suggesting 20 gargoyles in a list? The Hive Tyrant's enhancement. 240, 240. Okay, yeah. So he's okay. So we do that, and then that's 170, and then we have 15 points left over. And then look, now we can put Biophagic Flow. Second list. I think I like this. So I think this is where I would land kind of with this core. And we don't change too much. And we get 1 Ripper. I actually really like this list. Let's take a look. We've got Hive Tyrant with the Instinctive Defense. We've got the Neuro Tyrant, 2 10-man Gargoyles, Biovore, 2 Lictors, 6 Pyrovores, 3 Raveners, 1 Ripper Swarm in case you really want to, like if you're pulling off the +1 to wound, or if like all of a sudden you need engage on all fronts behind enemy lines alongside your Spore Mine, the Ripper can do that for sure. Double Harspecs, the Noon Assimilators, and double Psychophage. I think this is cool. I think this is a really cool list. Because you have action monkeys like the Lictors are doing a good job infiltrating, lone opping. The Raveners can up you down a bunch, screen your backfield a little bit. Gargoyles are going to do a whole bunch of gargoyle things. And then you have a bunch of pressure from Harspecs, Noon Assimilator. Now, the thing that we are missing is the double Maliceptor on this. I think double Maliceptor is good. But I just think this list is probably a little bit more versatile. How tanky do I think the Pyrovores are? I wouldn't count on them being tanky. I think you count on your opponent being a little bit annoyed with how much they have to commit to the Pyrovores, but I still think the Pyrovores kind of melt pretty easily. I have yet to revive a Pyrovore model in a game playing Assimilation Swarm. Hasn't happened for me yet, but so I think you actually have to play them just a little bit safer than you would think to begin with. But I would go with the second list. I think it's pretty cool. Please be wary of the Norn Assimilators not having an invulnerable save. So against like Chaos Knights or Imperial Knights, really, that can be kind of spooky with their Melta. Anyways, Ozolith, I really appreciate how consistent you are with your support, man. And you're always in chat, dude. So thank you for this list. Once again, I would go to the second list for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Shane says, I just had the best Biovore play of my life last night. I was able to overwatch a JPI captain and killed. Oh my gosh. So my game, I had a game Tuesday with friend of the stream, Jack Reacher, and I killed a Warglaive with a Biovore, and I also killed a Immolator, the Sisters tank. So my Biovore racking up kills. That's a good point, Zage. Harder to kill than 5 intercessors, easier to kill than 5 heavy intercessors. And then it exploded. Yes. Jack, that was a great game. Bury the Biovore. Okay. Nyx. Member. Look at that. Hey, take a look at this, Nyx. Look at that. Nyx is a member. Did you guys know that Nyx is a member of Wednesday Night Warhammer? And it was a gifted sub, I believe. Anyways, Nyx. He's Custodes Patreon. We do have a Patreon if you didn't know. 6 days left on your membership. Oh, well, we got to re-up that. Come on now. Almost expired gifted member. Yes, I know that I wrote that. And so this came about last time we did the stream, Monday. I told everybody that there is not a character limit on your army list title. So I posted the entire B movie. One time on RTT, the TO said, he was like, yeah, I almost yellow carded you for that. But I would like to say I'm a good friend of the TO, so it was really not that big of a deal. It was fine. You have 80 points remaining on your second list. Death Leaper. Death Leaper's cool. I don't know what else. Or 2 Pyrovores. Moving right along to Nyx. He's so since I told there is no character limit, Nyx was like, all right, say less. And he sent this in. So let's read it. Okay, so this is my altered Invasion Fleet meta list. I took your template for standard Invasion Fleet, includes from your recent Invasion Fleet tactics video. Awesome, very cool. And thought to myself, what is it that I can do to make it my own? So here's what I've come up with, and I'm bringing this to my local Memorial Weekend RTT. I got RTT this weekend too. I'll let you know how it does. Fun fact, I have the exact same list for Crusher Stampede, just change out the enhancements. So I'll run it as Crusher Stampede at some point. Anyways, I made the list name long just because you joked about that. And you are legally required by chat to read the entire thing on stream and in your best narrator voice, because that is how it's written. What is this? Mother. And I say this with all seriousness that a person grappling with the cosmic absurdity of miniature wargaming can muster. You must understand the sheer existential weight that settled upon me. No, collapsed upon me like a badly glued dreadnought. When Jordan, yes, Jordan from Wednesday Night Warhammer, with his insufferable smirk of someone who's just discovered the 9th level of irony, told me in a tone so maddeningly casual it might as well have been about tea, that I could name my Warhammer 40k list absolutely anything I wanted with no restrictions, no limits, not even the faintest whisper of a character cap to guide or constrain me in this bleak and baroque galaxy of ours. And you can't imagine, or perhaps you can, because you've known me since I was 9 and cried because my Necron paint scheme didn't feel spiritually cohesive. You can't imagine the horror, the spiraling dread that came over me as I was staring into the eye of terror itself. Because then I ask you, does one do with infinite naming power when every absurdity is suddenly on the table, when names like the Emperor's moist and slightly regretful sons of tactical ambiguity. Third detachment, probably, and Brother Captain Chungus and the 17th Indomitus mean crusade of blessed unreason, and Requiem for a meme, a love letter to overcosted stratagems and underwhelming dice rolls are not only possible, but according to Jordan, encouraged. Yes, I'm Jordan now. And I just sat there, lips twisting, a brush in hand, wondering how we as a society got to the point where the only rule is that there are no rules. And honestly, Mother, I left the night not with tactical clarity, but a strange gnawing sense that Jordan might actually be right. And if that's true, then perhaps the real grim dark future is freedom. An excerpt from the chapter. The night I lost my mind, taken from the memoirs of Sir Nyx of Florida, circa 2025. Notation and psych eval needed. Wow, chat. Well, we got through that together. Thank you again, Nyx. That was quite something. That was tough. That was a good read. I definitely feel like that was a journey. But let's I feel like I need a little sip. That was beautiful. I feel like there's so many adjectives we could attach. Oh, clipping all of that. Moving on. That was incredible. Hive Tyrant. Bone Sword and Sighting Talons with Adaptive Biology. Very nice. Love to see that. Neurotyrant with Synaptic Linchpin. We're probably going to look for a way to use those 10 points other than Synaptic, or 20 points other than Synaptic Linchpin. But we'll see. 1 Gargoyle Squad, Biovore, Excrin, Lictor, Maliceptor, Norn Emissary, Tyranifex, and Tyrannisfex. Hartley, you can submit them in our post tab in our community. If you go to our channel and you scroll a couple times to the left, you will see this. All right. So Nyx was referencing, well, he was referencing a bunch of really spooky stuff up here, I'll be honest. But the core of this list was referencing the core that I posted in my 5 tips to play Invasion Fleet list, or video rather. Go take a look at it if you haven't already. Okay, cool. So this is a good list. This is a great list. I really do like, of course, double Exocrine, the double Lictor, double Tyranifex. I think this is neat. The only thing that I'm wanting is I'm wanting a little bit more screening from the gargoyles, but we do get to a point where it's just gonna be what it is, because we only have so many points. Double Norn Emissary. Oh, and I see now it's like clicking while you're saying you also play this list in Crusher Stampede. This is good. You know, I would be hesitant. I personally am kind of spooked by Norn Emissaries. Sometimes I think that they are a little bit more fragile than they set out to be. But if you back them up with like Tyrant effects and extra shooting and the mouse scepter there to give -1 to hit, it's pretty good. I would still be concerned about like fire dragons. Like, yes, you get an invulnerable save, but fire dragons have just ridiculous amounts of damage. And there's other units out there, of course, that can definitely melt things like this. So the thing that I think this list is missing is like a counterpunch unit. We have a lot of shooting threats, and we have Norn Emissary threats. I don't really think Norn Emissaries are necessarily good in melee. They kind of just like slap people a little bit. And I wish they were a little bit scarier. But my rule, if somebody submits 2 Norn Emissaries, they probably want to play with 2 Norn Emissaries. But I think there's probably a good argument where you could cut one of them and then put in a counterpunch threat. Like, my favorite is Gene Stealers. And Nix, I know that you were on Gene Stealers for a little bit, but not anymore, which is perfectly understandable. Another good one would be... Really? That's awesome, man. Your Norns are more survivable than mine. Another good thing would be to, if we're playing double Norn, we're playing double Norn. But also, I think Zoanthropes would be good in this list too. And then that leaves 60 points. And then 20 points off of Synaptic Linchpin. So that's 80 points. So you could do like Hormagaunts in addition, and then put not adaptive biology, perfectly adapted on the Neurotyrant, just to give it an extra save reroll. But yeah, no, this list is cool. This list is really good. And if you're wanting to play double Norn Emissary, double Tyranifex, double Exocrine, this is the list, I think. Pretty close. And I really do like the Mouse Scepter to like buddy up with the Norn Emissary. It seems really good. Yeah, Nix. I'm sorry, I don't have anything that I'm like, you have to change this. I think really you can find a better use of your points than Synaptic Linchpin, especially on a Neurotyrant, because he's just gonna like send out his Neuroloids to basically do what Synaptic Linchpin does, but better, But Nix, thank you so much for the support, man. We really appreciate it, of course, and I'm glad you submitted another list. 7-2. Also, you can send it to me in Discord. Just post it in like I don't know, 40K general, maybe. I'll take a look at it. But yeah, great list, Nix. Moving on to our last member of today, believe it or not. Mergle King. King, I've just been calling you King because that's the part of your name that I know how to pronounce. Can you like phonetically spell out how we're supposed to pronounce your username? Anyways, thank you for being a member, and thank you for supporting us, man. We really appreciate it. He says, Mergle King. Mergle King. Okay, sick. Beautiful. Mergle King. Thank you, Bugmaster Jordan. I really enjoy your takes on NIDS, and I really enjoy everyone who helps with the channel. Yeah, we got some cool guys. Loving the many ways the channel entertains and informs. Thank you. I played during 3rd and 4th editions, then quit once 5th dropped. Started back up with Leviathan box drop. Great place to start. I have more than 9,000 points worth of models built. Holy guacamole. So I can field most anything minus more Raveners. I only own 3. Yeah, I would pump the brakes on getting any more Raveners. Here's my list. I've played 6 games with it without making any changes. I'm 2-4 and would like to see what you recommend. And I really like this point. So I do recommend changes in lists, but I think after you make a list, especially if you have like a tactic in mind or like a way that you think the list should play out, I recommend that you probably play a handful of games before you really do any like huge overhauls with your list. I think 6 games is a perfect point to then be like, okay, I know what my list does. It's lacking in these areas. It really does well in these areas. How can I make it better? How can I change it? So I think this is a great point for you to start analyzing your list. So let's take a look at it together. We've got Hive Tyrant with Bone Sword and Scything Talons. We're at 1995 points, so we have 5 points already, and we're going to be wanting to try and find 25 points to make sure that we have adaptive biology on the Hive Tyrant. I think that's really worth the while. Hormagaunts and Termagants, Biovore, Exocrine, Lictor, Norn Emissary, Raveners, Tyrannifex. Okay. Oh, it's triple Norn? Oh, my Lanta. Okay, cool. So I think we are going to drop a Norn here. Mergle King, what kind of areas have you been like needing more assistance in your game? Is there anything that you feel like has been not doing so well as you would like? I would think that you need a couple more scoring units. So what we are going to do, and of course you respond with something else, then we can pivot. We're going to cut the Termagants. I'm not a huge fan of just 10-man Termagant squad on their own. I really think the points can kind of be like, and you had 5 points left over. Maybe you just have Termagants, you don't have Hormagaunts, but right away you could just change those Termagants out to Hormagaunts, and I think they honestly do. They probably do better than the Termagants. And we are going to cut. We're double Rupture Cannon, okay. And we're going to cut a Norn. Triple Norn is super beefy, but I think an Invasion Fleet, we probably don't need triple Norn. So this is going to be 325 points left over. And honestly, we have enough beef. We have enough damaging units. You know, maybe we get like one more weapon here or whatever, but I think we just need more scoring units. So first thing I would like a second Lictor bare minimum. So that's going to bring us down to 265. 265. And then my name's Jordan. So we're putting gargoyles in. Times 10, and that's 85. Where are we at? 265. So that means 180 points left over. Beep, beep. Okay, and now here's the point. Excuse me. Now here's the point where we think, do we want another unit to almost be like a distraction Carnifex and run up the board and try and get people or distract from the Norn Emissaries? Or do we want to split up to more units? So something that I've figured out. Oh, what's up, Kiki? Welcome to the stream. I think we want the second. We want kind of like a distraction Carnifex. We also want this Hive Tyrant to have adaptive biology. So what we will do is we're going to downgrade the Gargoyles actually to Hormagaunts, which I think is fine. I think if you're playing double Norn Emissary, you're going to have to make some concessions. You know, I genuinely think that that's just the thing. 200 points, and then we're going to use 170 of those points to throw in a Maleceptor. A Maleceptor pairs perfectly with a Norn Emissary, just like two really disgusting, beefy, invulnerable bugs next to each other can be kind of tough. And the Maleceptor giving -1 to hit to the Norn is gross as well. And Mergle King says, I was having issues staying on primary for the games I was playing before this list. My last game, I had a hard time with Defend Stronghold against Emperor's Children, Containment, and Mark for Death. Okay, so yeah, I think adding a Maleceptor, and then we go down to 30. Ozolith, I had to send it to you in DM. I do thank you for doing my list. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I might be back, but if not, I hope you have a good day too, man. Take it easy, dude. Thank you again for your support. So we have 30 points left over. So then we put adaptive biology on the Hive Tyrant. And then I think that pretty much wraps out the list. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Maybe I need to throw some Norn Emissaries on. But the reason for double Lictor is so that you can always have like a double contain ready. That's one of the things that whenever I deploy, I make sure that if I draw containment turn 1, that I'm really able to capitalize on the 6 points that containment can have. We have 2 screening units. Probably start both of these on the board, and then you can run them out, have them be in front of your Norn emissaries. I would probably trade with my Hormagaunts before I trade with the Lictors. Really protect your Lictors because you have so much beef that your unit count is going to be very, very valuable. Drop the Raveners behind or next to the Biovore, of course, to screen out your backfield even more. Have the Maleceptor hang out alongside the Exocrines next to the Hive Tyrant and hopefully close proximity to one of the Norn emissaries so that when they land on their objective, then maybe your Maleceptor can give out that -1 to hit aura, and it can be pretty strong with that. I personally probably would not reserve. Maybe you reserve 1 Exocrine. But with 2 Exocrines, I like putting them on the table. It also depends on the terrain format. And then the Tyrannofex, maybe you reserve 1. But yeah, cool stuff, man. I hope my thoughts helped. And good luck with the rest of your games. Oh, would you recommend anything reserves? Wow. That's funny. I just kind of like went over all of what I would recommend in reserves without even seeing that question. Awesome. Moving right along. Cowblaster. And we are back to our non-members now. Hey, Jordan. I'm new to the, yeah, that's amazing. Mergle King. Great. I'm new to the channel. I really like your vibes and outlook on list building. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm working my first Nid list, and the thing is, I'm very much an aesthetics first guy, but I still want a list that can win games. The only rule I have for this list is that none of the bugs can have flesh guns. Okay, so no Termagants, Tyrannofex, or Biovores. Gargoyles get a pass because I like them with no arms. Interesting. Anything else you can change through, though, including the detachment? Would really like to hear your thoughts on this. This is very interesting. Rodrigo, what's up? What did cows ever? Yeah. Well, no. Maybe it's Rodrigo. Maybe it's a cow that has a blaster. The cow is blasting. Could be. Oh, is that right, Kiki? Awesome. Cool. So this is Vanguard Onslaught. I love Vanguard Onslaught, even though I lost with it last night. And very interesting stipulation. So no flesh guns. Okay. So everybody, please keep me in check if I try to include any flesh guns. I don't like that word, flesh guns. We have Broodlord with Hunting Grounds, Narrow Tyrant, Parasite of Mortrex. Man, where's Bennis? I wish he could see this. Winged Hive Tyrant with Stalker. Interesting. And then Winged Tyranid Prime with Chameleonic. Whoa, we got 40 Hormagaunts. 1 squad of Gargoyles, 40 Hormagaunts. 10 Gene Stealers, Lictor, Maleceptor, Psychophage, Screamer Killer, Double Von Ryans, Zoanthropes. Okay. Cool, so we can play with this. This is good. I think, yeah, I agree. That's a good point. If you don't like the look of a weapon, change it, convert it, do something cooler with it, you know? This is a jam up the middle list. I would think so. I think there's a couple of things that we probably want to switch out. I know a lot of people really like the Parasite, but before we get into cutting anything, I think we just kind of need to change out the Parasite for Death Leaper. And if you are in love with the Parasite of Mortrex, play the Parasite of Mortrex. But I think the Death Leaper is a very, very easy switch out. Death Leaper is a very strong unit. Parasite is cool. Doesn't have an invulnerable save. Doesn't have fights first. You know, there's a lot of stuff that the Death Leaper has that just kind of overrule. All right. The 40 Hormagaunts is very interesting. I would probably argue that we need to move away from that many Hormagaunts. And then also the Psychophage. The rest of the list I actually do really like. So let's cut the Psychophage. And I think we're actually going to cut 30 Hormagaunts. So that's going to be what? So that's 95 points plus 130, 195. Okay. And the thing that we're looking for is, can we afford another brick of Gene Stealers? Wait, does he have a Winged Tyranid Prime without? Oh, he does. Okay, so we're also going to cut the Winged Tyranid Prime. No, we do not need more Gaunts. And we're going to add 80 points to that as well. 80 points. Okay, So 275 plus 95. Ooh, is 60. 275. Should be 360. Is that right? 275 plus 95. No, 370. All right. Cool. So immediately we're going to change this to we're going to subtract 230 points because I think you want 20 Gene Stealers in your list. Basically, no matter what you're playing, it would Vanguard Onslaught. So we have 140 points left over, which is a great place to be. Also a Mouse Scepter in here. I actually don't hate the Mouse Scepter. The fallback on charge with the Mouse Scepter is pretty cool. And then we want to copy this Brood Lord, but not, I'm just going to write it. Cool. We have 140 points left over. Let's see what we can do with this. We could cut, oh, I know exactly what I would like to do with this. I think everything's pretty good. Like the Screamer Killer is an interesting choice. You could argue that maybe a Trigon is better than the Screamer Killer here. But I think minus 80, did I thought I did the math right. Could be wrong. But I think the Screamer Killer could be okay. Maybe as like a rapid ingress threat. So 140 points. Oh, and I gotta delete these Hormigons. Oh, I already did the I did the Gene Stealers and the Broodlord together. It's 230 points. That's one of those units that I really know how many points there are because I use that brick often. So I just did the math real quick. 140 points. What I think we probably do is we cut Stalker. Cut Stalker, and then we put 2 Ravener units. Was there a Psychophage in here? I must be thinking about it different. And then I think this list is pretty good. And I definitely think we stayed away from any flesh guns, right? Just put more of the units that you already had. I think this list is sweet. We'll take a look at it again. We've got Broodlord with Hunting Grounds. Another place, if you could find, you probably do actually want Neuronode somewhere, but I'll let you kind of scramble things just a little bit to find Neuronode because you have the Von Ryans, and redeploying Von Ryans is pretty strong. We've got Broodlord with Hunting Grounds, another Broodlord, Neurotyrant, Death Leaper, Winged never mind. Winged Type Tyrant, Gargoyles, Hormigons, Gene Stealers, 20 Gene Stealers, Triple Lictor, a Mouse Scepter, 6 Raveners, 2 3-mans, a Screamer Killer, Von Ryan's Leapers, and Zoanthropes. Super cool. I like it. You could cut the Screamer Killer to find those extra 10 points for Neuronode, and then just kind of change it. Where do you post this changes anywhere? Or is this best find out the end result to watch the video? Unfortunately, it is best result to watch the video again. In the future, once I, this summer, I will hopefully have some time to kind of revamp the stream a little bit. I think it might be cool if I just like copied and pasted and put everything in the Google Drive, in a Google Drive or like a document of some kind. I think that could be cool. Right now, it's just the video. That's a good question. All right, moving right along. We've got Yugi. I know Yugi. Do you guys know Yugi? I actually don't know Yugi, to be honest. He says, hi, this is my assimilation list. What can I do to make it better? Cool. Very straight to the point. We've got a Winged Prime with Instinctive Defense. Oh, that's the only character. Is this 1,000 points? How many points is this? Everybody, quick YouTube reminder while I figure this out. If you could like this stream, subscribe if you haven't already. That would be incredible for us. Really kind of trying to push to 10,000 subscribers. And then we're going to do a big 10-hour stream where I do a bunch of Tyranid content. We have a couple ideas of like me doing like basically an RTT where I do 3 games back to back to back. Or we could do like 2 games and then I do an army list review show inside of that If we have a bunch of questions, I could also do that as well. But yeah, we're really excited about that. Maybe sometime late summer, maybe early fall, we'd be interested in doing something like that. That's our goal. All right, take a look at this. I'm at the Lictor point. We've got Pyrovores. Oh, good. We do have a warrior unit. The warriors with instinctive defense is kind of interesting. Fighting first with warriors does seem pretty scary. One Exocrine, one Haruspex, one Maliceptor, one of each Norn. Oh, a barbecue break in between? Yeah, that would be sick. That would be awesome. Psychophage. Hopefully I don't have to eat anything disgusting. Who knows? I think this is 2,000 points. This is got a lot going on. So this is at 1980. Oh, we need an instinctive defense on this fella. Okay, so 1995. That's weird. It's because this was before the thing. Oh, Ripper Swarms. That's why. I was like, this should be more than 2,000 points. Okay, so this list has a lot. I feel like we really need to shift a couple of things. We've got like one of each unit, a lot, and then we're kind of putting a bunch of different strategies together. So I would assume maybe our collection is starting out a little bit, and we're kind of going from there. So which is like completely understandable. It's perfectly fine. So what I would recommend, if you really want to stick Assimilation Swarm, what I'll recommend right now is I'm going to recommend a core of units that I would probably start with on Assimilation Swarm. And then you can maybe fill in the gaps from there and kind of see where it takes you from there. So let's create a Assimilation Swarm core. And then we can go from there. So things that I think immediately we need to have in Assimilation Swarm is Neurotyrant, Hive Tyrant, and those two. And if we just automatically put, like, you don't absolutely have to have the Hive Tyrant, but I do think the Hive Tyrant with Instinctive Defense is a really good kind of like anchor unit. And the Neurotyrant is going to have Biophagic Flow. And then this is Defense. Sweet. So those are our characters, battle line. We're gonna do double Gargoyle. Gargoyle. You could also do Hormagaunts. It's not a huge deal. It's 40 points less for Hormagaunts, so maybe that is a point where you get like a additional Pyrovore or something. Then other, we're gonna do a Biovore, of course. And then I think from, I'm going to add a couple more units, but then from this point, it's really kind of like, what do you want to do with it? Pyrovores times 3. I just did, what's a Prover? That was funny. Pyrovore times 3, and then Pyrovore times 3. I think 6 Pyrovores is a really good place to be in Assimilation Swarm. I do know, yes, they are just dollar-wise ridiculously expensive. If the people you hang out with are super cool and you can find some really cool proxies online, I would encourage you to just do that, if I'm being honest. And then actually really, really value Psychophages in Assimilation Swarm. I think they're just annoyingly durable. And like people don't really want to commit. So this is where I would start with Assimilation Swarm. And maybe this is where I'm going to start with my 5 tips for Assimilation Swarm whenever I decide to make that video. And this is at 975 points right there. So you really have 1,025 points to play with from that point. And with Assimilation Swarm, you need to figure out what's your big unit that you're going to protect. Is it a Norn Assimilator? Could be. Is it a Norn Emissary? Maybe they're healing each other. And you want to make sure that you kind of have a little bit of a castle around them. Harspexes are great counter threats as well. They do really well on the lethals on 5s. And they can kind of, I don't know, be pretty good. Assimilation Swarm has an okay amount of shooting. I don't think it absolutely needs to be a shooting list. So Tyranid are something that I would look at as well because they're pretty pricey. I love them. I think they're a great unit. However, 400 points with Tyranid when Assimilation Swarm, in my opinion, really just wants to be pushing up the board and just kind of sticking on the objective and just being there. So if you're trying to go through a game plan where you're more sitting back, who knows? Maybe it might be worth just being more forward pressure in Assimilation Swarm than it is shooting long ranges. But I apologize if that's not what you were kind of expecting. I think you do have some pretty good units in here. I think I really do like the Harspex, Malceptor, Psychophage, and maybe the Assimilator, as well as the Pyrovores. But I think we need to focus first Assimilation and then kind of spread out and then kind of come up with a game plan from there. I hope those thoughts helped, and I really do appreciate you submitting your list. Moving right along, we have another Assimilation Swarm list from Steel Raven. He says, "Hey Jordan, love the channel and the list analysis you do is awesome. Thank you. You're awesome. Appreciate it. The units review and tips on how to run specific minis has helped me a ton. Anyways, this is my current list. I run Assimilation Swarm exclusively. Used to run 60 to 80 Termagants, but cut it to 40 since I felt melee was needed." Oh boy. High Fleet Crampy? Is that how you spell it? Or say it? I don't know. We've got a Tervagon with Pyovagic Flow, which makes sense with all the Termagants. Neurotyrant. 40 Termagants, as he said. Norn Emissary, Psychophage, Psychophage, Psychophage. 2 Tyranid. This is before the update, which I think we're getting to the point where we are no longer going to have that problem. Really pushing through these lists. So we're going to be minus 20 already. 3 Zoanthropes, 2 Ripper Swarms, a Biovore, 2 Screamer Killers, and Barbgons. Let's take a look at what he says. He says, so the list runs around the idea of denying primaries, doing actions with Termagants on objectives, or the phages. Termagon plus phage plus Neuro plus Zoan makes Termas tough nut to crack. Screamer go into reserves and flanking the opponent. That's it. Pretty straightforward. Tell me what you think. Okay, cool. So it is a fun list. I think a couple things that we can do to make it a little bit more efficient is first, can you guys believe that a Norn Assimilator is more points than an Emissary? Now, I'm not saying raise the points on a Norn Emissary. Please don't do that. I am, however, saying that a Norn Assimilator is too many points. So I would probably want to change that to an Assimilator. Nyx is being called to dinner. 07, we salute you. See you later, man. Which I think is only just 10 points more. It's 15 points more. Jeez. Okay. So we're going to be down 35. See you later, man. Barbgons are okay, but I think in this case, we probably want to cut them. So that will put us at positive 20 points to play with. And we're going to just play this Norn as an Assimilator. Now, if you have already built your Norn Emissary and you're like, oh no, I don't have a Norn or Assimilator. I promise you, just run your Emissary as an Assimilator and tell your opponent, hey, this is an Assimilator. And they're going to be like, yeah, okay, that's an Assimilator. Nobody knows what Tyranids look like. I'll be honest with you. Nobody knows. Another thing that we want to do is if we're running Swarm, we want to have Venomthropes. And I think we want to up that squad of Zoanthropes to a 6-man squad. I think that is really something that we want to do. So those are our last two really kind of things that we need. Let's see if we can do it. I like the idea of 1 Screamer Killer. I think 2 is probably too much. So we will cut these guys. That's 145 points. This will be at 165 points. We'll bring it down to 65 points for a 6-man Zoanthrope squad. And then, oh, we're so close. 65 points. I would like. What did I say? We need Venom Throats. I think Venom Throats would be really cool. I think we cut one of these. Ripper Swarm. Go up to 90 points. Cool. And then we can cut. Oh, so we do 70 points for the Venom Throats, which is going to be 70 points. This is down to 20. Great. Oh, I figured it out. Psychophage. We're going to cut one Psychophage for a 3-man Pyrovore brick. And Pyrovore is actually really good with this list because if you shoot him, then you ignore cover with the Zoanthropes, and the Zoanthropes can activate a little bit better. I think you will have 10 points left over, but 10 points is 10 points. Very cool list. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope my thoughts made sense to you. Thank you again for submitting your list. Moving right along. This is our first non-Tyranid army list submitted to the channel. This is a Necrons list. I will say, I'm not extremely well versed in Necrons. I will do my best. And this is from Legendary Fish. I think Legendary Fish hangs out in the Discord a lot. He's a part of the W&W League. My schedule has been pretty busy, so I haven't really been able to play my games this time around. So I apologize if you were supposed to be my opponent. My bad. But if you would like to join our monthly Discord league, go ahead, join our Discord. And we put out announcements of the Discord league going on every single month, and it's a great time. It's Necrons. We're Hypercrypt Legion. That's the uppy-downy one. We've got a Hexmark Destroyer. I believe that's the Galactopus, as people like to say. The Imhotep the Stormlord. He's the guy that sometimes camps the home objective and just farms CP the entire time. We have a Locust Lord with an enhancement that I don't know what it is, so I will look it up real quick. Codex Necrons, Hypercrypt Legion, enhancement. What is that? Osoteo Clave Fulcrum. Okay, models in this bearer's units have the Deep Strike ability. Awesome. Okay, so he's probably leading a bunch of Locusts. Plasmancer is the Arisen Tyrant. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack, re-roll a hit roll of 1. The bearer's unit was set up in the battlefield this turn. You can re-roll the hit roll instead. Whew. Okay, so maybe... Oh, and it's double Seraptic Heavy Construct. Okay, I see what's happening. All right, so you're... Oh my gosh. Okay. So the thing that's going to make this tough for me, I don't really know the points off the top of my head. So I'll just go in like kind of like philosophically what I think this list would probably need. I like the idea of one death ball thing that can like come in and then with the Locust Lord and do reroll all hits. But I think you want to max a heavy destroyer squad for sure. So anyways, that you can bring this up to, I think they go up to 3 or 6. Bring that up to a max squad. We're, of course, not dropping the Seraptech heavy constructs. Don't want to do that. Things that I value as well is we want to... I'm not really sure where this Plasmancer is going. Maybe he's going with these... with the Death Marks. But I would probably cut like these 2 units, Death Mark, and Immortals. And I could be completely wrong. And I would be looking for things to help screen the heavy construct and things to do secondaries. Units and Necrons that I rate really, really high is the Ophidian Destroyers with the uppy downy. They're like Raveners, but they're like way bigger, but they're actually way weaker than Raveners in terms of like punching. And then I also really, really like Flayed Ones. Like if you can fit 2 Flayed One squads in, and then the Ophidian Destroyers for some secondary play, I think that would be pretty sweet. And then your list is already goated because you're playing double Seraptic heavy construct. Good for you. You know, if you didn't know what a Seraptic heavy construct is, let's take a real quick look. Oh, so maybe using Death Marks 4. Yeah, you could be right. Where can I even find the oh, it's in the Imperial Armor. Okay. Seraptic Heavy Construct. It's T12, 24 wounds, 5 up invulnerable, 3 up save, ranged weapon. I think it has 2 of either gun. So the Singularity Generator is 2d6 blast, hitting on 3s, strength 10, AP3, 4 damage. Or the Obliterator is 8 attacks each, hitting on 3s, 5, -1, 2. So you definitely do the generator or the transdimensional projection. That's not what I didn't see it yet. So you get 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 24 strength, AP4, D6 plus 4. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I might still like the Singularity Generator. But I don't know. Who knows? Oh. Wait, it gets 2 of each? No. I don't think it gets 2 of each. 2's in that. Oh. So it does. So it gets the Obliterators and the Transdimensional Projector? Oh, I see. Okay, so you get the sustained hits 2 gun, and I thought it was getting the Singularity Generator. Oh, okay, so he has 1 with 1 gun and 1 with the other. Yeah, I like that loadout. I think that's good. Cool. It's amazing. It's a very interesting list. Necrons are fun. I'd play a little bit of Necrons. Alex, hey, I posted my list in Discord today. Can you review it next week? If you could, please copy and paste it and put it in our post section of our channel, and I'll get to it next week for sure. I just like keeping it all in one place so that when I review a list, I immediately delete it, just so it's easier for my bookkeeping and everything. But I really appreciate your support, man. And since you're a member, thank you again, of course. I will review it next week. Absolutely. Thank you, Alex. All right, last list. We've got Robo Rob Mateo. Maybe it's supposed to be Robo Robot Mateo. Maybe I didn't copy it. His list title is NIDS. We've learned that there's no character limit, but sometimes you only need 4 characters. Just 4 letters. NIDS. NIDS. Beautiful. It's Assimilation Swarm. We've got the Broodlord. Regenerating Monstrosity. I think that means he can regenerate twice. So he's bringing back 2 Gene Stealers, I would assume. So if you go on our channel and go through the tabs of our channel, there's one that says posts. Then go into the posts, and then there's a post that I've created. It should be the top one. And then just copy and paste it into the comment section if you could. Okay, Regenerating Monstrosity, and then Hive Tyrant with the Parasitic Biomorphology. And then Neurotyrant with Biophagic Flow. Okay, we've got Gargoyles, 40 Termagants. I think this character setup is not bad at all. I think it's pretty good. I haven't tried the fights first. So I would probably, that's actually a good question. I would probably put Instinctive Defense or Parasitic Biomorphology on the Broodlord instead. Gene Stealers, Neurogons, Psychophage, Pyrovores, Tyranifex. Perfect, Alex. I'm glad that you found it. Tyranifex, Double Rupture Cannon, Tyrant Guard, Venomthropes, Von Ryans. P.S. Love your channel. Hope this list is good enough to bring the bugs to victory. Excellent. Yeah, no, I don't think it's bad at all. I think we need more assimilators. We need more harvester units. So believe it or not, I'm going to cut some units. I'm going to cut an Exocrine. That'll give us 140 points. I'm going to cut Neurogons. That'll be at 145 for us. And then I'm going to cut the Tyrant Guard. So we'll be at 225. 225 points. Me personally, I'm not in love with the Assimilation Swarm, like swarm aspect with Gaunts and stuff. I know some people have had success with it before. But it's just not my favorite. I think I'd probably, if I'm going Assimilation Swarm, I like the beefier bugs. But that's also just kind of my playstyle as well. So take that with a grain of salt, if you would. Parasitic biomorphology, that is 25 points. Instinctive defense is 15. Regenerating monstrosity. Okay, so I think we cut regenerating monstrosity. We put instinctive defense on the Broodlord, so that the Gene Stealers are going to have fights first, which like is disgusting. But you have to be careful. You have to make sure that they're within range of a Harvester unit, and that is also going to give us 10 points. And parasitic biomorphology, does it only trigger if you're leading a unit? No. Okay. So you can still use it even though we're taking out the Tyrant Guard. I just think a 3-man Tyrant Guard doesn't really normally do what you want it to do, rather, excuse me. So yeah, I think we're gonna continue with our core that we talked about before. So we're gonna use 75 of those points to up this Pyrovore squad to a 3-man. And again, Pyrovores are very expensive. If you can find a place, if you can find somewhere that looks like really cool proxies or whatever, and the people you play with don't mind, I would recommend doing that. 230 minus 75 is 155. I think so. I'm embarrassing myself right now. 230 minus 75. Oh no, it's 155. I was not embarrassing myself. And then I think we just copy it again. We do another Pyrovore times 3. Boom. And then this will be at 50 points. And I think I'm okay with 1 Von Ryan squad, but I'm not super excited about 2. So we cut Von Ryans. This will go up to 120 points. And then chat. Then we do double Lictor. Cool stuff. Assimilation Swarm is often sometimes hard to build because it really requires very specific units. And it's tough as somebody who's suggesting things to purchase or some things to like change about your list. It is oftentimes for me tough to say, okay, you have to have Pyrovores and you have to have blah, 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 blah. But with so few units in the detachment that have the Harvester keyword, unfortunately, there is a case where you have to have that. So yeah, so that's why I like the 6 Pyrovores. Maybe find room for another Psychophage, but who knows? Regardless, everyone, we've reached the end of our stream. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Consider becoming a member. You're going to get priority on your list, and we will do another Army List review show Monday. I am not sure, Prof. I will say this. I hate to say it, but if you become a member, then yes, I will be able to do your list next week, but I cannot promise that I'm reviewing your list next week. I'll have to sift through the queue. But anyways, thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you for supporting the channel so much. Like, comment, subscribe, all those good things. And most importantly, have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye.